Okay, to break down a little bit more of the categories of puppy proofing and creating a controlled environment, we wanted to use this sample room to just kind of point out a few things. Good things and bad things that the puppy could eventually or potentially get into, which cause mischief or even danger to itself. So let's just start over here, okay? Obviously we have some furniture, a couple couches, totally normal, so obviously a puppy can chew on a material like this and easily feel good about that. Okay, this is nice and soft, so furniture, of course, is always going to be one thing. Here we have more furniture. This is also a little bit nicer. Probably, potential there. Pillows, obviously. As we come over here further, we have, you can see here, classic pair of glasses. Okay, so things that smell like us are going to be a problem, okay? Socks, underwear, glasses, handkerchiefs, wallets. Dogs like things that smell like us, so here this pair of glasses is really gonna have our smell. So that's a classic thing for a dog to chew up. Not only is it an expensive thing for them to chew up, but it could also be very dangerous. There's lots of little pieces of metal, obviously glass, things that could really, really hurt a dog. Okay, moving down here, classic pair of shoes. Okay, so leaving the shoes out like this, your feet are going to smell more like you than anything else. So if we have these shoes out here, this is just a big pile of trouble. We always want to keep these things away so that the puppy does not get the experience of the joy that they will feel when chewing on something like a leather shoe. Okay, going further into the room now. You can see here it's pretty tidy. This stuff is all okay. If we're looking at this, here's like a treadmill for dogs. If we're looking at this and we have a very small dog, we want to make sure they don't fall off something like that. Okay, keeping them off this. So this might be something you might want to block depending on the size of the dog that you're working with. Okay, coming over here we have weights. So obviously, weights could hurt a puppy if they were to say fall on the puppy or roll over its foot. But weights are going to be hard for a puppy to move. So that's kind of up to you. Here's another, looks like expensive kind of case for something that could easily be chewed up by a puppy. These weights are actually feeling them, they're rubber, which would be, this feels very much like some of the toys, the non-interactive toys I was talking about earlier. So very easy mistake for a young dog or puppy to make, thinking that this feeling like rubber, smelling like rubber could be this another toy of theirs, okay? So again, by giving the puppy only one or two at the most non-interactive toys, those toys they learn are designated for them and for their enjoyment, not everything within its environment. That's the idea we're trying to achieve, okay? Moving further, over here now we can see this is very, very dangerous. You have two electrical cables here. You have one that looks like, I suppose it's an Ethernet cable, and then you have one that's just a standard electrical cable. Both of those things, again, have a rubber coating, which is going to have potentially be a familiar feeling to the dog. It's small enough to where the dog can easily get its mouth around it, and it's soft enough to where that when the dog bites into it, imagine for example, if a dog were to bite into this metal bar, it would not last very long. Okay, it's very uncomfortable. They make no headway when biting into this. There's nothing pleasant about this at all. But if we take this cable all the way over here, it's soft. As soon as the puppy or dog bites into this cable, they are going to make a dent in it, making what I call headway. Okay, making progress, and that in itself is rewarding. So cables, tuck away. You always want to keep those out of the picture. We don't want the dog to be biting or chewing on any cables at all. Further over here, okay, we've got some other things. This again, these are all, exercise. This is all exercise equipment, but this is rubber as well. Rubber, all over the place, and this is going to be tantalizing for a dog to try and chew up. Okay, here we have more of the rubber weights. Back here, you can see we've got quite a bit of cabling. Okay, down here. Now it's good. It's tucked behind the the little, piece of furniture here, but still very accessible for a dog to get in through there or even through the back side. Here we have a power strip. Okay, again, more cabling, more cabling. This could potentially be tucked away from the back side, hopefully solving that problem. But again, cables are a big, big thing. Notice all the cabling around here. So a couple other things. Here's a battery, okay? Lightweight, small, something the dog could potentially want to grab and chew on. Extremely dangerous. Here you have a couple of loose sugar packets, okay? So if these are within reach of the dog, they're easily going to grab those in. And again, experience. The dog grabs this, tastes it, it tastes good, they're going to start to seek this through experience, which is a whole nother thing. When the dog starts to seek out the things that we really don't want it to experience, then we've got a problem on our hands. So again, by doing this, we're going to, this is a very blanket way of trying to kind of cover all bases, okay? Down here, another classic, the CD, something that's chewed up. Down here you have like a channel guide, paper, usually sitting in an accessible spot and easy for the puppy to grab or the dog to grab. Of course, a lot of this is going to be dependent on the size of the dog that you have. If you have a tiny little Chihuahua or a Min Pin or a Poodle, obviously they might not be able to get up and get at these things here. But if I have a Lab or a Border Collie, medium to a large sized dog, easily access all of these things. Okay? Just moving over here, another very classic thing that puppies chew up or dogs chew up, the TV remote. Again, it smells like us. We hold it in our hands. It's the same dimensions as a lot of the toys that we're using, the non-interactive toys. So again, it's an easy mistake for the puppy to make. And if the puppy is in this environment, uncontrolled, no leash, no tether, no X-pen, we're allowing the puppy the freedom to make all of these possible mistakes. Okay? And all of these possible mistakes, the only way to teach the puppy or a young dog not to make these mistakes is to correct the puppy, okay, right now, at this stage in the game. So corrections always mean some form of conflict. And again, we're trying to create a relationship, an idea, a set of habits about life, life structure, things like that. So by controlling your environment, not allowing the puppy or young dog to experience all of these things that in themselves can be rewarding, when the puppy is of, or the young dog is of maturity and the patterns are established, you're going to find that the dog knows, just like this dog here, very clearly knows this is her toy, not the TV remote, not the battery, not the shoes, not the glasses. None of those things are her toys because her toys have been designated to her, okay? And through consistency and repetition, you develop the habits that you want. And depending on the breed of the dog and some other things, those habits, there's variables to how long it can take for those habits to develop. But once they do, they truly become habits, which means they last a lifetime.